Yum. Mom, I'm having cinnamon tea. And I'm having coffee.
What's our video on this morning?
They don't know yet. What did you guys see the first dog do?
He did what he was supposed to do.
What? What was it that you think he was supposed to do, Clark?
One.
Run where?
To those cones.
Yeah.
At the back of the mat.
That's right. Right to the end to where the other person was. Hit the dog's owner, right?
Yeah.
And so the owner was calling the dog. And the dog had to come.
They were supposed to do that?
Right away. That's what the first dog did, what he was supposed to do. He was called, and he came. Super simple. What did you see the second dog do, Winifred?
He was called and he did come.
And what did he do instead?
Just ate everything. Played with everything.
Yeah, what did you see the second dog do, Clark?
He was eating.
Kind of like what we're doing right now, huh?
Uh-huh.
Is it good? You guys like French toast, huh? It's kind of fun to be able to do church and eat French toast.
Well, wait, is the video on?
Yeah. And so, do you guys know what distracted means?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does distracted mean, Clark?
Like somebody, it's like, I'm playing with a toy, and it's calling your name, and then you go into something.
Hold on, let him finish.
You couldn't come.
Right, like you're playing with a toy and somebody's calling you and you don't listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good example of being distracted. What do you think, Win?
Let's say that I was eating while we were doing homeschool, and I wasn't doing my homeschool. I was just watching and eating.
Right, you were getting distracted by your food.
And my screen.
Right.
Well, that's loud. No, it isn't.
Well, eating is important, and eating is allowed, but eating food can be a distraction sometimes, for sure. Mm-hmm. Like if you're supposed to be paying attention, but you don't pay attention because you're too busy eating food or thinking about food or something. So yeah. And so you guys know what praying is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Winifred, what is praying?
Praying is talking to God.
Praying is talking to God. Do you have anything to add to that, Clark, about praying?
You
don't need to tell him what to say. He can think for himself.
Praying about God.
So praying is talking to God. When we pray, are we thinking about other things? Or are we thinking about God and what we want to say to Him?
God. God.
That's right. So then we could say that when we pray, we focus on God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the first dog that we saw. The first dog was focused. The owner, the trainer, was calling the dog, and the dog was focused and just went straight there. The dog was not distracted. He was able to hear what his owner was saying, and he responded to what his owner was saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, prayer is a lot like that, right? Prayer is like that course. And so if we pretend that we're the dog, put your hat on, goofball, even though it is a cool hat. Don't get distracted by the hat. Okay. So, if we are the dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God is the owner at the end, when we pray, we need to be focused on God, like the first dog, so that we can hear God, like the dog heard the trainer, and so that we can respond.
Like the owner is the God, and then the dog is the person who listens.
Yeah. And so when we pray, we focus and we listen and we talk to God about things so that we can hear God and so that we can respond. We can do what God is talking to us about. But sometimes there are lots of distractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there are things that get in the way of us being able to hear God or talk to God or spend time praying. Like sometimes we get a new video game and...
That's what I got.
Oh, you got a new video game. What new video game did you get?
A Nintendo Switch.
Lucky Duck.
We are eating French toast.
And so Nintendo Switch is super cool, right? And a lot of fun. But sometimes a Nintendo Switch could be distracting.
Yeah.
Like if you were supposed to be praying and talking to God, but the Nintendo Switch was on your lap, it might distract you and might make you want to play with it. Or...
Well, I would just throw it up in my sister's bed.
Oh, that's a neat idea to get rid of the distraction. Sit down. It's okay. Yes, I'll take it.
Peach, that's what I always do when somebody is hurting me. Or when Rain is trying to chase Clark with a toy, and then or mine or something, like he throws it up in the bed. Yeah. I always swim dunk it.
Mm-hmm. I think you guys maybe are getting a little distracted by what you're thinking about instead of what we're supposed to be talking about. Because we're talking about prayer and fasting. So what do you think fasting means?
What is fasting?
Well, that's a good question. If you had to guess what fasting was, going fast. Okay.
Like going from here to over.
Oh, you don't have to show us. It's okay. Have a seat.
Well, I want fast with them.
Yeah. Can you put your legs down and sit up, please?
But my dad is way faster than me and my sister. When he went on the treadmill, he was running so fast.
Well, that's just because I'm older. I have a lot more practice. I played a lot of sports and I have long legs, so that helps me go a bit faster. But no, fasting, even though it sounds like fast, has nothing to do about going fast.
I can swim on my own.
Has nothing to do about going fast.
I can do.
Hey guys, you're getting distracted. Can we focus on what we're talking about, please? Thank you. And so, fasting is what we need to do. Can we pay attention, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Fasting is what we need to do if we're like the second dog sometimes. Because we all get like the second dog sometimes. We're supposed to be doing something, but we see things, we get distracted, we think about things, we get distracted, we play with things, we get distracted, we smell things, we get distracted. There are a lot of things that can distract us in this world, right?
Right. Like French toast.
And so do you think maybe sometimes, guys, come on please. Do you think sometimes, take a breath and pay attention please, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Do you think sometimes we get distracted when God is trying to talk to us and maybe we don't hear him like that
Mhm.
second dog?
Yeah, because we can't really hear.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah,
You
can
can.
hear them in your heart.
Yeah.
Like when your heart's beating.
So let's bring it on back to what I'm talking about. So I
Okay.
need you to focus, not get distracted. Think about what I'm talking about. That's it, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Put your hand down. Put your hands down. Thank you. Sometimes God is trying to get our attention, but we are so distracted in what is around us that we miss it, that we don't hear him, that we don't listen, we don't pay attention. And so fasting is this really cool thing that the Bible talks about where we get rid of things that are in the way to help us to focus on God even more. Because that first dog would be able to run through the second dog, would be able to run through just like the first dog if he wasn't so distracted.
If it was, then it would be a tie.
So, if before he started that race, he just got rid of everything that was on the side, he probably would have ran through really fast, right?
Right.
And so when the Bible talks about fasting, that's what it means. It means getting rid of some things that maybe are distracting you so that you can focus on God a little bit better. And so in the Bible, it talks of fasting from food a lot. And so there's something really cool.
Fasting from food mean?
Well, you don't eat food for a little bit. Like, you can fast from food for a whole day. So for a whole day, you don't eat food. And every time that you're hungry or every time you're supposed to eat food, instead, you pray to God. You talk to God. And so people will use fasting, like from food, to be able to focus more on God so that they can hear him more clearly.
But then they don't get to eat their yummy dinner.
Yeah, but it's something that helps us focus on God more. And so it's not
It's
something.
like how we pray before dinner.
Yeah, it's not something that we do all the time. You'll do it sometimes when you have something really important that you need to make a decision on, or if you feel like maybe God hasn't talked to you in a while and so you haven't heard from him in a while. It's not because he's not talking, it's because you're not listening. And so we can fast from food. What are some other things you think that we can take breaks from? Because that's kind of what fasting is, taking a break
Running.
from something.
Running.
So that we can
like
pay attention to
Also
God
so
more.
that we can catch our breath. So that we
Yeah,
don't-
but that's, no, we don't. No.
I mean taking like lying down.
Yeah.
Like how we pray before bedtime.
Yeah, but that's about praying. We're talking about fasting.
Huh?
And so think of something that you do a lot in a day. Put your feet down.
I do homeschool a lot in the day. And
Yeah, you're not going to fast from school.
I eat a lot in days.
Yeah, and so we
And I
talked about
craft
food.
a lot.
Okay, so there you go. So you could take a break from crafting. That would be fasting from crafting. And every
Fasting and crafting rhyme.
time that you want to do a craft, or you would normally do a craft, you would stop and you would pray to God and talk to God instead.
Right.
And what about you, Clark? Can you think of something that you do a lot?
Mm,
I don't know
me
if
and
it's
my dad play sports a lot.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad plays sports a lot.
And
he
so,
wrestles.
and so we could take a break. We could fast from sports, and every time that you want to do a sport, or every time that you would normally do a sport, you could stop and pray to God and talk to God instead. And so when we do things like that, we change from being the second dog to being the first dog. We hear God very clearly, and we're able to listen to him and do what he asks. So it's pretty cool, because God's always talking to us, but sometimes we just get distracted, right?
Yeah.
So that's fasting. That's praying. Now you guys are experts. You guys at home are
Well-
experts too?
We're not experts.
No, probably not. Nobody's ever really an expert. We just keep getting better
bean
and
is
better
like huge
the more
now.
we practice.
The bean is huge now.
Yes, yeah, we'll have to show them our bean plant because it's doing really well. So
Yeah.
thanks for joining us. Let us know in the comments some things that maybe you would like to fast, that you would like to take a break from so that you could talk to God more. And we will be taking a break from some things as well. We're going to talk about what we're going to take breaks from so that we can pray and hear from God more too. So thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have fun with your families. And we will see you guys next time. Okay? Bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Is it
Bye.
Is it 7?